with Lakuchi River Electric Cooperative, member-owned, community-focused.
Hello and welcome to the Turkey Man Show. I'm Kevin Vaughn, or better known here at WREC as the Turkey Man. I'm a long time with the Coochie lineman. Today I'm sitting down speaking with Jose Santiago, AJ Sorby, Tyler Strauss, and Theo Gomez, four of my fellow linemen, about WREC's recent trip to the Navajo Nation, where we took part of the Light Up Navajo Initiative. Welcome to the Turkey Man Show, gentlemen.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
All right, so it's good to have all you guys this morning, and so I guess I'll jump right into it. What motivated you to join the effort to bring electricity to the Navajo Nation?
To begin with, I heard about giving people electricity that never had electricity, and I've been on several hurricane duties, and I figured, what the heck, I'm gonna give it a shot, do what we know what to do as a lineman.
That's right. So I felt the same way when I found out that we have, people in our own country that don't even have electricity yet, never had. And I understand that perspective coming from, hurricanes. After 2 weeks, they're ready to have their lights back on, but these people have never had electricity before. What do you think, AJ? How's that?
I've been on multiple hurricanes as well, and, just the hurricanes you're giving back to someone who's already had power, where these people never have, and that's the difference. So the whole experience was just nothing like anything else I've ever done before.
Yeah, just to jump in on that, it's exactly what AJ and Theo said. Just something different, change of pace for everybody, and also just a good time to work alongside with different people with Coochie as a whole.
Yeah, every time you get a chance to, get up, go help somebody, it was So
that's good. Everybody felt felt the same about going out and being able to get power to those that have never had it before. Can you describe a moment during the project that really moved you or stuck with you? Is there a point on the trip that really stuck out from the rest of it? We were there, 15 days, so When
we went to the communion dinner at the end as a big thank you, we had a dinner with the local people that we got power back on, and the mother and daughter stood up and just thanked us so much, and it just meant the world to us, that's all.
Yeah, all their testimonials at the end was it was moving. Me being a girl dad, I get emotional, and I just feel it when they were talking. I just, had to think of something else because I didn't want to break down.
Right, that was powerful. That was about the second half of the trip. We had a thank you dinner with the families that we were able to get power to, and they were very thankful. Many of them had waited, many years for power, some of them over 20 years, some of them, one woman since 1968. And they were there to thank the NTUA, to thank With the Coochie and the linemen that had put in such an effort to bring power to their homes. And it was touching. It was a powerful time for sure.
Yeah, I guess you could say, for me, one of the biggest moments was on day one. We got there, orientation, finished around noon. They fed us a great lunch, and then we went to the job site to go look at it. But you know how that goes when you work for WREC. You don't go look at something. We started working, and we built a 2-span tap, and the guy that we did, we working with headlights that night. We were in the dark, and it was so moving because the guy said he lived there for 20 years already, and he could see the power line at the end of the road. He could see it. For 20 years, he was looking at that power line, and it took our guys, they split our crews up, but they took our guys, 4 hours of working, in the dark to finally get in some electricity. And when he flipped that switch, it was very moving. To me, it was.
So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced while working in such remote areas? And you kind of alluded to that a little bit. He's looking at a line, but it's remote. It's very tough digging conditions. I know one day I was helping with the digger trucks, but it took all day to drill 4 holes. To set 4 poles, it took the entire day. So it's very challenging conditions that many of us faced on that trip. It wasn't an easy line build for sure. So what were some of the challenges you guys faced individually?
Yeah, I would say Some of the challenges, you got to remember we were in a real rural area, so equipment-wise, we had 2 digger trucks. We had a pressure digger, which was nice. We did get one more at the end, but bucket trucks, they're not really around. There wasn't too much, and for that whole job, we had 1 bucket truck. So there was a lot of climbing to do, a lot of manual labor. It just wasn't our normal situation. Obviously, going up over a mountain was a task.
Yeah, 1 bucket truck. So, I mean, you guys ended up climbing every pole with the exception of the few that the bucket could get to
Yes, sir.
To help, string the wire. Every pole was being climbed, and that's, I guess, normal for a lot of their line builds out there. You can't get some of the equipment to some of these areas like we can here. So it does present a challenge. So anybody else have any challenging parts of the trip?
Yeah, on top of the wind, the terrain, and even just the conditions themselves, the wind. We dealt with rain, we dealt with sleet, a little bit of snow, just the changes of the weather constantly. Every day you'd wake up, it'd be 20s, midday it'd be in the 70s or 80s. And on top of all those things, we just dealt with their spec, their way of building. I mean, they stuck true to their heritage. They stayed kind of their own people, and they're very picky about how they build things. So squaring every nut, making sure every square washer's square, putting lock washers on there, making sure the lags are square. That just brought another challenge that kind of slowed us down in a way, but you kind of pick up on quick and you move forward with.
Well, you're in their world, so you want to build it like they want it. Definitely a challenge with the weather. I know 2 days we had wind advisories, and we had 50-mile-an-hour winds for 2 days that just pummeled us out there. And I know when we were pulling line in, that sand just beat us to pieces. It was. I mean, we had the buffs on our faces, and I mean, it was something. All our heads were aching because our hard hats are tightened up so tight, and many of us, didn't even think about bringing chin straps, So some of us had them, but just the wind was a challenge on some of those days, and the weather that we faced. Not only the terrain, but just like you say, it'd be 24 to 30 degrees in the morning, warm up to 70 by the time you mid-morning. And then I know the one morning that it snowed on us, for us Florida boys, we did a tailgate in the sunshine, felt good, and then 2 hours later it was snowing on us. So I think we seen 4 seasons in one day that day.
One day it was snowing, we were freezing. The next day we were sweating.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did the local families react when they saw electricity in their homes for the first time? I know we talked a little bit about it, but
yeah, they were tickled to death. Like the younger kids, being able to just flip a light switch and the lights on.
Right.
I'm sure you guys already heard about the little girl that asked her parent, hey, am I going to be able to watch TV for longer than 2 hours a day? Because they were running off a generator. But now with, the reliable electricity, she could watch an hour in the morning, an hour at night. It didn't have to be in 2 hour increments.
Right, and to put that in perspective, some of them did have generators, some of them had solar, but you think about having to run a generator on storm duty for 2 weeks. They're having to do it year round. Mm-hmm. I mean, the cost in fuel, even propane, for some, if they had propane, the cost of having to run something 24/7 on propane, you can imagine the cost. So, yes, they'll have a new electric bill, but it's the cost is going to be a lot cheaper in many ways than having to run propane, having to run generators. It's just more reliable. The solar they had wouldn't last, like you said, Theo, 2 to 3 hours at the most, and then so they're very limited on what they can run living out of coolers, only being able to buy food for 2 to 3 days at a time, and even with the power, still hauling water, in many cases no wells. It makes you, it's a challenge, yeah,
for sure,
and it makes you appreciate what we have here. We take a lot of things for granted. So what kind of impact do you think this project will have on the community long term? You feel like it affected the families long term?
Oh, definitely. It changed their lives. Obviously, going from no power to power for the families, but also I think for the company that we were working for, the employees there, we I don't know if everyone knows, but we tackled one of the hardest jobs they had. They told us that in our celebratory dinner up over that mountain. I'm sure the employees there are glad that we got that done while we were there and helped them, because that was a task that we did.
Yeah, I think it was scheduled for 3 to 4 weeks. They had talked about bringing the Army Corps of Engineers in. And, of course, they ended up giving us that challenge, and we accepted that challenge. And like with the Coochie always does, we came through for them. And we finished that job in 8 days, that particular job, which consisted of about 6.5 miles of line, over 50,000 feet of one-aught wire we pulled in on that one job. So it was an amazing accomplishment on that task, especially with the conditions and the limited amount of equipment we had to work with. I mean, you guys knocked it out of the park.
Oh, definitely. When we pulled up, it was hard. Yeah, it was hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, I'll be honest.
There was a couple days I said, we're not going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I would ask the local lineman there, hey, do you think, be honest with me, do you think we're going to finish this? And he just shake his head no, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, actually come and said, I think they bet our side-by-side from Trilby that you'll never get this job finished. And we said, oh, yeah. So that was a challenge to all of us linemen from here. But
yeah, it'd be hard to explain to Mr. Lambert
definitely
on the board that trailer came back into with no yo on.
So we weren't going to let that happen.
No. We're going to come back with two.
Right.
He kind of backed off his bet.
So it definitely affected the community long term. They want their families to be able to come home, their grandchildren to be able to have something that many of the residents there have never had, and which is electricity and reliable energy. Makes a big difference.
I think it affected our community here.
Right.
It affected the linemen here that went on the task of the trip that we had. It affected us, just working with each other, and it was a great job they did of bringing different linemen from different offices. And like I met guys that I've been here for 22 years, and some of the guys been here 10 years, and I've never met him. And now, I'd work side by side with him anytime, any day. So I think it affected our community just as much as it affected that community as well.
Absolutely, the response from social media was outstanding, and that meant a lot to us that were out there. Being away from our families, being away from home, and seeing the positive response, and being able to share our stories and share the story as we were going through it meant a lot to us too. But it will definitely affect the communities long term, and I believe there's still some 10,000 homes on the reservation that do not have power. That's amazing to me, and unreal in our own country.
Unbelievable.
Of course, the reservation is the largest in the United States, 27,000 square miles. You can drive for hours and still be on the reservation.
Yeah, I guess most everybody, you say reservation, you think you're driving through a gate. Oh, here, that's their community. No, it's like you said, it's a state. It's the size of West Virginia. It's not.
It covers 3 states.
There's no gate let you know you're coming in the reservation. It's just it engulfs entire communities and mountains and everything.
Right. So I mean, it definitely needed. So glad to be part of that. So how has this experience changed your perspective, either personally or professionally? I know it's affected me personally, just being able to be part of that. How about you, Jose? Did it affect you?
Yeah, somewhat, just seeing, how, people living up there, and then you just go to places, see how they live, and then you appreciate what you have back at home. You just gotta go out, see, help people.
Tyler, how about you?
All in all, I would say absolutely. Like you guys touched on it, change your perspective as a whole. And also, we take for granted a lot of things that we have here. we were working with one of the workers there. He was there, I believe, 1.5 years, 2 years, and he didn't have running water on his home. So he's showing up every day for work. He lived 2.5 hours away, and he didn't have running water. So just to see that and see how dedicated they are and how they live, it definitely changed you as a person.
That was Dustin. He actually had power at his home, but no running water.
Yeah, he was a sharp kid, though. I was impressed with his year and a half. He definitely impressed me on his knowledge of how to build lines.
They're good teachers. They're hard workers, and they're proud of their heritage, proud of their land, and
proud of their work. Mainly they're proud of their work. That pole looks perfect.
Oh yeah.
Some of the neatest work I've ever seen.
Yes, sir.
Like Tyler said, it was a bit of a challenge for us at first, but we were helping them, and that's the way we wanted to do it. We definitely brought a new perspective to each one of some great men out there. How did our visit to the Navajo Nation help bring greater awareness to their challenges and resilience?
I think it was. I think they did a good job of broadcasting it over social media. They were taking pictures and videos the whole time, and I think a lot of people paid attention to that. Not only just our consumers, but also other co-ops, other power companies. I think it's gotten to them, and I think they've kind of looked into it, and I think they're looking into maybe sending their crews out there for better experience, or just to experience the whole situation as it is, and get their linemen in as well, which will help them in the long run.
Yeah, touch base. Stephanie did a great job. They put the team together, and everybody's thinking like, why is she going? But we're glad she went. Like she showed the story we were doing. Without her, our voices would be mute. Just without her. Yeah, from working here back at home, you do stuff behind the the scene, and nobody knows what you're doing. And it would have been the same thing over there. Nobody would have known what we were doing. But with our social media and her work that she did, she really worked really hard, and she really did tell a story of why we were there.
Well, that was our hope, is to bring awareness and for other companies and co-ops and to get involved, and hopefully that happened. They can go back and live our story through the Facebook, through social media. So how did your motivation impact your work?
Well, it felt like I had followers back at home. Like they wanted an update. So he's like, I got pressure of working all day, and then like, well, what do I got to update today? But day 1 and 2 was easy, because we were building taps, getting people's power on. But the next 8 days, what do you do today? We put some holes in the ground and strung some wire up. Like, we didn't energize anybody, so it kind of felt like you were letting your people down. But just we kept pushing.
Right, we had to finish the task at hand, and we did. But I know, just for me, seeing other pictures that were being taken from the guys we were working with, because all of us were scattered out across a mountaintop. I mean, we had crews framing, we had crews setting, drilling and setting, and we had crews, pulling wire out, climbing poles, and laying the wire up. So a lot of times we'd only see the few guys we were with
for the tailgate.
Other than the tailgate. We didn't see them probably till the end of the day, or till we started gathering up to get the next plan of what we were about to do. But I want to thank you guys personally. I know when we energized that 6 mile line, you guys allowed the old man, I guess they called me out there, but allowed the honor of but allowed the honor of me closing that jack in and he energizing that 6 mile building. You guys worked so hard, every one of you. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that Mr. Lambert took the time to come out, our CEO.
Oh, that meant a lot to me. It meant a lot, and everybody. You could see when we heard he was coming. We're like, "Are you serious?"
His family, his wife came out. Mr. Little from the board. That meant a lot to us, that they would take time to actually see what we were going through, because even with the pictures and the videos, it does not do justice to what we were actually experiencing as far as the terrain, the you know,
wind. He should have got there
the
for
wind.
the windstorm.
I mean, the pictures don't show the wind.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, the conditions we were in, even looking at some of the pictures and videos, it's hard to describe what we were actually involved in. So just a thank you to them for allowing us to do this and this project, and coming out and seeing firsthand. I think they got a perspective of what we were going through and what the people that actually live there, what they go through every day just to haul water, just to live there without electricity, and now they have it. It's an amazing trip. So thanks to every one of you. Is there anything you guys like to add? Any stories or anything you'd like to add to?
Well, I was thinking about a funny one though. I guess kind of funny. You know, that day we had the windstorm. It was pretty bad. You know, Jamin gave me his chin strap because we were chasing hardhats down the road. And I'm looking at their linemen. They're setting a pole in line, and the wind's pretty bad. And I was in the bucket that day, and I'm looking at them. If they come down, I'm coming down. If they stay up in the air, I'm gonna fly my bucket. But like I said, we were getting wind gusts 40, 50 miles per hour. So it was harsh conditions, but you know, they stayed in the air, and so did we.
Yeah, we stuck with it. I mean, we definitely stuck with all the conditions that presented itself during each day. But proud of all the team, and proud to be part of this initiative, and hopefully this will bring awareness, and we can get other companies can help get power to the rest of the homes out there that need it.
Yeah, and like I said, we can give a thank you to the linemen over there, the Navajo linemen. You know, they were great to us. They were patient with us, and you know, at first they kind of probably didn't like us too much, but by the end of the trip, like, they're our brothers. Like, the guy said he's coming down. He said he's coming down to Okeechobee with his son to ride they got bucking bulls, and you know, that was Daryl. Oh, Daryl, he's great. Like I said, he's great.
Now Cornelius, Dustin, Vernon, all those that we worked with.
Like I said, by the time we left, they were our brothers. Like, they could come visit us any day, and we told them that.
New family.
New family.
Yeah. New family. Yeah. They're part of us, and we're part of them now. So it was a great experience.
And just to add to all that too, we're definitely proud, and we should be proud of all the line we built. But like you were saying, Turkey Man, it's not just what we did out there now. It's trying to convince and motivate other co-ops, other companies across the nation to go help our own people, go help Native Americans on the reservation get power. So part of using our resources to go out there and build that 5,000 feet of line, it's also using our resources back home, our social medias, our platforms, to tell the story. And like Gary Steele always brings up, makes a good point. It's more than just doing the work. It's telling the story and presenting the story and showcasing the story. And I feel we did a great job doing that as well.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here, and thank everyone for listening to the Turkey Man Show. Thank you guys for coming today and sharing your perspective on the trip to the Navajo Nation.
I appreciate having the opportunity to go and experience.
Appreciate it, and thanks. And it's an honor working with every one of you.
It was a great time. I appreciate the experience and getting to meet everybody and spend some time with you guys. Awesome experience.
Definitely.
And whole.
Definitely do it again.
With Lacoochee River Electric Cooperative, member-owned, community-focused.